What's cracking, ladies and gentlemen? 49 coming at you, another community shoutcast for the OUSA Dota League Season 2. We're loading into game number 1 of the winner bracket, a series between Blink Dota up against 5IP. And so the winner of this will proceed to the next stage of the winners bracket, which will be the winners bracket final. So that'll be the winner of Sync 2 v Horseman of the Ruckus. And so joining me as my co-caster will be the captain of Horseman of the Ruckus, King Killer. I believe he's just gone off to grab a drink of water, so he'll be back shortly. So 5IP, they've got first pick. Will be interesting to see what Yoda, their drafter, or Broda, their captain, will let through the first batting stage. They have been talking about perhaps giving away the Lycanthrope to see how Blink Dota respond to this, but because they've got first pick, Blink Dota will be forced to ban the Lycanthrope. And so Ken, looks like you're joining me. Are you there?
Yeah, bro. How's it going?
Yeah, not too shabby. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Just been at uni all day, so nice to be able to chill out.
Fair enough. Is that Gats in the background?
It is. He's playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Fair enough. Looks like 5IP are actually having a few issues with sound, so we could potentially be seeing a quick pause coming up from them once the drafting stage is done. But Doombringer first ban coming up from Blink Dota, so very standard ban coming out from them. It's just the Doombringer gives you so much in the offlane, especially if you're going to be on the die or the Radiant side. Since the die side you could always recover by rotating into the jungle, and the Radiant side, the Radiant offlane enjoys significant advantages because the hard camp is nearby, so you can pull the creep Equilibrium, as well as the fact that if the supports ever do a double pull through, you're going to be able to leech experience. And so Viper's second ban coming up from 5IP, they really don't like playing against the Viper, and for good reason. Wouldn't you say there, Ken?
Yeah, it's interesting ban. I don't think I've actually seen Blink run Viper, but fair enough.
Yeah, they like to run Flash over in the safe lane Viper. It's usually not Snow going to be on the mid lane. But Blink, they're really starting to deliberate now because Broda, he's intentionally baited out the Lycanthrope ban. So if they decide not to ban the Lycanthrope, the 5IP will get access to it. And so it's going to force them to ban it out. So that gives them the drafting advantage. Because I'm going to have to respond to that.
The question is, are they going to ban the Lycan or the Void?
Yeah, that's true.
Those are the first picks 5IP are really going for.
And so Broda, he's enjoying a significant advantage now because Blink Dota, they're forced to burn away through their reserve time. And we're only in the first banning stage, and so the more reserve time you burn off at the start of the game, the better, because it gives you a lot more flexibility with your draft. And 5IP, they haven't broken a sweat, they haven't dipped into the reserve time, and Snow, he's really starting to deliberate now, because if you give away the Lycanthrope is a hero that Wolfcamp plays exceptionally well, something like an 80% win rate on him, and I believe he only ever plays in pub games a jungling Lycan, and so that's a much more inefficient start compared to the laning Lycanthrope. And Lycanthrope, one of the most powerful heroes in the current metagame, because it favors these 5-on-5 early death ball pushes. You want heroes that can help you push, and because Lycanthrope scales as both a pusher and as a hard carry, and they have given away the Lycanthrope, so 5IP most definitely going to be picking that up. But Blink Dota, they could be baiting this out. The best way to deal with the Lycanthrope is by clashing Try, and they instead go for a Brewmaster first pick. So 5IP baiting out Blink Dota to go for the Lycanthrope, and Snow, he might be going for the bait. What are your thoughts on the Death Prophet second ban there, Ken?
I think it was pretty foolish, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think now that the Death Prophet's banned, now that they pick up the Brewmaster, there's not many counters for him in the mid lane.
I mean, Skywrath Mage is a hero that some players do like to experiment with as a counter, and so we immediately see the Faceless Void Skywrath Mage. So we could actually be seeing a mid Skywrath Mage. Mid Skywrath Mage works very well up against the Brewmaster because you can harass him out of lane with the Arcane Bolt spam, especially once you get a rune control, which you're most definitely able to achieve just because you've got superior movement speed. And Blink Dota, the supports are always very active in the early stages of the game. They ensure that their mid lane gets a lot of investment, so they'll always be guarding runes and camping them to ensure that their mid lane hero is able to gain access. And Skywrath Mage with the Ancient Seal, if he gets the level advantage over the Brewmaster and is able to hit level 6 with the Brewmaster does, you can instantly kill him with the Mystic Flare, especially since Brewmaster is constantly copying a lot of harassment damage. And so that's something that teams do like to run as a counter. But that being said, Skywrath Mage much more commonly run as a 4 or 5 position, especially in conjunction with the Void, because you've got the Chronosphere to the Mystic Flare, means that you're guaranteed to kill a hero in the Chronosphere, and that's the whole point of Faceless Void as the offlane hero. But we could potentially be seeing a 1-position Faceless Void, but most likely going to be Blink Zeki, currently going by Blink Rain, going to be playing Void as the 3-position. And 5IP, they're starting to dip into the reserve time now with the Brewmaster first pick. They were expecting Snow to go for the bait and pick up the Lycanthrope.
Yeah.
But the Lycanthrope, probably not the greatest pickup now. So they go for a Lich pickup. So this is more of a reactive pick.
Helps against the Void ulti.
Yeah, since you don't want to give away Lich with the Void. But the biggest drawback of the Lich is the reason why he's not picked up so often is because you can't really rotate with a Lich. He doesn't have a hard CC. He's got the snap from the Frost Blast, and he can right-click fairly effectively, but you have to have another hero to help set it up. And the other biggest drawback is the fact that he offers you nothing in a push or in a counter push. You can Frost Armor towers to be able to keep the tower alive for a little bit longer, but you can't actually kill the creep wave on your own. And so it makes Lich a bit of a situational pickup. He does give you a huge macro advantage in the sense that you're depriving EXP while providing EXP to yourself through the sacrifice ability. But otherwise, as far as a support hero goes, Lich, very powerful in some setups, but he has glaring weaknesses, especially in the current meta game, which favors support heroes that can push or counter push, or provide a huge amount of burst damage. That's the reason why you see Skywrath Mage so often, is while he can't push or counter push, he provides a huge amount of ganking and teamfight impact. So Pugna ban coming out from Blink Dota, 5IP really like to run the Pugna as a counter to the Death Ball strat, as well as an Ember Spirit ban coming out from 5IP, so respect ban over the Snow. Especially since 5IP, they seem to be having a bit of a terrible track record with the Ember Spirit when they play against it. When they play the Ember Spirit, they also do very well. Mule, the Ember Spirit player over in the mid lane, is usually able to help ensure that they're able to win the late game, if they can weather the storm and get his farm up. So what do you reckon they should be looking to, both teams should be looking to ban out for their fourth ban?
The storm in this game. The fourth ban, well, Blink, like 5IP are definitely running an early to mid-game strat. After 30 minutes they're going to have a big amount of trouble because the Brewmaster truly tapers off. Razor, great ban.
Yeah.
Sort of, well, yeah. I would have thought Blink would ban the Razor because he's kind of semi-counter to Faceless.
Yeah, he's a good counter, but he also works very well to Void.
Blink ban should probably... No, me, I'd probably run an Ember, but they're probably looking at a Silencer.
Yeah, Silencer would do a lot of work.
5IP play Silencer.
Because 5IP, the Silencer hard counters 5IP, and it counters Blink as well, so it's safest just to ban out the Silencer, because you don't want to be on the receiving end, especially of that global silence. But it does work very well to Faceless Void, and they do have the next pick. So Blink Dota could choose to not ban out the Silencer and pick him up himself. Since the Silencer hard counters the Brewmaster, since every time Brewmaster doesn't get a successful Blink Clap split, you lose the fight. Your team is entirely dependent on Brewmaster to provide the lockdown, provide the control, and if Brewmaster isn't able to get a good split off, then that means that you've already got a massive advantage. And so it could actually be Ghoulie playing the Brewmaster, and the last time he played him, he played a very old school build where he actually went for phase boots into drum, wasn't able to get his blink until 9 minutes past his proper time, and so that actually cost him the game. So it'll be interesting to see what they do this time. Shadow Shaman pick up from Blink Dota, so they love running the Shadow Shaman. They pick up the Shadow Shaman, the Skywrath Mage, or the Ancient Apparition.
Oh yeah.
And we've got the Undying, so he's a fantastic counter to a lot of this early game pressure coming out from Blink. This Undying, he's a hero that will single-handedly win you the game in the first 20 minutes. You cannot fight against the Undying when Tombstone is up and when the Flesh Golem is up. Just because if you focus the Undying, he'll be able to keep himself alive using the Decay stacks, and the Tombstone will be the wreck you. If you focus the Tombstone, the rest of his team comes in, and Lich and the Brewmaster can control and lock down the rest of your team. Bristleback pick up. So we are going to be seeing a 1-position Faceless Void going to be played by Flash, and a 3-position Bristleback going to be played by Zeki, currently calling himself Rain. And so the biggest issue with the Skywrath Mage as well as the Shadow Shaman is the Shadow Shaman's he's a very powerful support, but he's a very greedy support. You have to either break even or be ahead, because he's so slow and so squishy. If he isn't able to find his farm and get a Blink Dagger up into the game, the Brewmaster will completely destroy him in these fights. You Blink Clap on the Shadow Shaman, and then you immediately split. And we've got a Phantom Assassin pickup coming up from 5IP.
Interesting pickup.
This is something Broda has been talking to me about for a very long time. They like to run this when they play as 5 together in ranked CM. It's going to be a mid Phantom Assassin going to be played by Mule. And so we're going to be seeing either an off-lane or potentially a safe-lane Brewmaster to ensure that he gets that early blink. And we've got a Witch Doctor as well as a Dazzle Band. So Witch Doctor, fantastic counter pick against the Void. Also works well with the Void, because if you don't catch the Witch Doctor, he could just drop the Death Ward and force you out of your own Chronosphere. Since the Death Ward does obscene amounts of damage, especially if you're able to land a Malediction as well. And so Faceless Void, they don't want to leave anything to chance. They want to get rid of the Witch Doctor. And a Dazzle as well, fantastic counter pick to the Faceless Void, because you simply Shallow Grave whatever target Void's focusing, and that means that you're wasting the Chronosphere. You have to kill a target within the duration of the Chronosphere, otherwise when you start these fights you're at a significant disadvantage, unless a Void is obscenely farmed. But even then, you always want to make sure that you're able to get a pick off, especially with the way that Blink has drafted this. They've got a very powerful lineup, but they rely on this 2 supports, Skywrath Mage and Shadow Shaman, being able to find a lot of kills in the early game. Skywrath Mage and Shadow Shaman, if they're not able to find these kills and not able to get the experience, and much more importantly the gold, to pick up early Arcane Boots for them, or an early Blink Dagger for the Shadow Shaman, they taper off very quickly. Every time the Tombstone drops, they have to run. Their HP is too low, unless they stand outside of the Tombstone range, or they're able to focus it down, they'll be dropping very quickly. With a Queen of Pain pickup, so Queen of Pain mid, hero that hasn't actually been seeing all too much action, just because while she is very powerful, with the Shadow Strike to be able to help control the lane, With the current trend of very tanky support heroes, she tapers off very effectively. You have to be able to kill support heroes with your burst combo. So now with the trend of tankier supports and supports that have a lot more fire and forget spells, the Queen of Pain isn't as effective. She does scale well into the late game, and so Blink Dota have ensured that they've got a very powerful late game lineup. And we've got a Tinkerband coming up from 5IP. They don't want to chance it, even though Blink Dota are on the dire side. You never want to play against a Tinker when you're playing a very early game lineup, since it puts too many variables into the equation. You have to shut down the Tinker, and then you have to end the game before Tinker comes online, because otherwise he'll be able to defend high ground and make it damn near impossible for you to breach. And once he's able to do that, you'll eventually accumulate enough farm that you can just one-shot your supports using his combo, and that means that you've effectively lost the game, because it's too difficult to be able to breach high ground, and especially with him being able to split push as well. And we're going to be seeing an Omniknight pickup, so it is going to be a one-position Brewmaster, going to be running in the safe lane, and an off-lane Omniknight. They could actually decide to clash try v try.
Stuns here is quite bizarre on 5IP.
Yeah, they do have the they've got a lot of snares in regards to the Lich Frost Blast. They've got the clap as well as the Degenerate and the dagger coming up from PA, but they lack hard CC. So Blink Dota, if they ever get ganked, they can simply TP back home. That being said, there's a huge amount of damage coming out from 5IP's lineup, and it looks like Wolfcon, he's going to be playing a strength hero again. So his Agi hero win rate 0% so far in the ODL. Let's see if 5IP can bring it back with their own style. But Blink Dota, if they clash try v try, who would you actually have to give the advantage to? I mean, they've got the Undying for 5IP, but in the same hands, they've got the Skywrath and Shadow Shaman combo.
If they're running a try, the fact of the matter is you can't run a try when you're versing a Lich, because you're just never going to level up. Yeah,
that's true. It's the biggest disadvantage. Looks like they're having a few audio issues, so they had to quickly disconnect. I believe they're going to reconnect back into Dota just to resolve issues on their end. But going to introduce the players from both teams. Over in 5IP, Broder, their captain, going to be playing the, what I assume is going to be the 4-position Undying. Mule going to be the 2-position, running to the mid lane as a Phantom Assassin. Wolfgang going to be operating as either the solo safe lane farmer or the tri-lane farmer over on the Omniknight. And only, he's actually the one going to be playing the Brewmaster, so he's going to be either the safe lane farmer or the off lane. They haven't really made any moves to decide to determine the lanes yet. They could actually run a dual lane. With the Omniknight and Undying in the top lane, you can't actually go on them, because the Omniknight can keep himself alive with the Purification and the Repel, and Broder just drops the Tombstone and forces you to back away. So they do have that approach of going for dual lanes and having the Lich back up only in the safe lane to ensure that he has a good lane. And since if Brewmaster is able to get very early Arcane into Blink, he can start dominating these fights. You can't fight against a Brewmaster once he has a Blink, unless if you can silence him and prevent it from splitting. And so over for the boys in Blink, they've got Zeki currently calling himself Rain, going to be the offlane Faceless forward, so we're going to be seeing a safe lane Bristleback, going to be played by Flash. Bambi going to be over on the Skywrath Mage, Snow going to be the 2-position Queen of Pain, and Yoshi going to be the 4-position Shadow Shaman. What are your thoughts on what looks like a Bristleback tri lane?
It's going to be painful, and the Bristleback pickup was just the greatest counter pick imaginable to the Dirge. It was a huge oversight banning the Razor rather than the Bristleback when you already had the idea in your mind that you're going to pick a Dirge, because you don't spontaneously pick Dirge. Right,
yeah. Because the biggest issue is every time he quill sprays, it kills all the zombies, because it does physical damage. The zombies are magic immune, but physical damage will kill them. And Bristleback, he's tanky enough that he could just shrug off the zombies even if they are on him, so he could just run up and start smacking at the Tombstone, force the enemy team to attack him. It's the biggest mistake that a lot of players make when they play the Bristleback, is they play too passive. The whole point of the hero is to draw as much fire as possible without dying, but if you do die, if you absorb all their spells, it's worth it for the rest of your team. And so it looks like we've actually got some trash still coming up from both teams. There's actually a lot of rivalry coming in between 5IP and Blink, as only the 4-position, currently going to be playing the Brewmaster, is actually the younger brother of Yoshi. And Bambi and Ghoulie used to be teammates. Bambi used to be Ghoulie's captain back in Bambi Rising for ODL1. He did then sell out and join Blink, so a bit of animosity happening between both teams. Will be interesting to see which one does come out on top. Just the trash talking coming up from Wolfcunt will be enough. But this Omniknight pickup, it works very well against what Blink are drafting. Because if he drops the Guardian Angel before Faces Void Chronos, the entire Chronosphere is wasted. And a lot of the damage coming out from Blink is actually physical damage. The only two heroes that could reliably output a huge amount of magic damage is the Skywrath Mage and the Queen of Pain. Since Shadow Shaman, he's got the Ether Shock, but the majority of his damage in these fights is going to be coming out from the Mass Serpent Wards, and they deal physical damage. Queen of Pain as well, while she does do a huge amount of burst damage, because 5IP, they have a fairly durable lineup. Once they get to the point where they could disregard her spells, especially with the Repel constantly going to be on Mule, he doesn't have to buy a BKB, he can stand his ground. That means that the Omniknight, if he gets a good Guardian Angel off, he could win the game, just based off that. Especially since They're relying so heavily on a lot of early game physical damage. The time lock, of course, is magical, but it's not going to be enough damage to be like kill targets, especially in the later stage of the game once the HP pools start rising a lot more, especially with the Tombstone though. Actually, Ken, I'm not 100% certain of this. Does the Guardian Angel work on Tombstone? Or will that only work once you get the Aghanim? Because that also could be another factor. Does the Guardian Angel work on Tombstone without the Aghanim, or does it only work on it with the Aghanim?
That is a very good question. I'm pretty sure only with the Aghanim.
Because if you could Guardian the...
Nearby allies, or...
Yeah, it's a bit tricky.
It probably does act if you're within the AoE.
Right. Because if you can't kill the Tombstone, that could actually be completely devastating.
Well.
Although the Bristleback does completely wreck the Doge zombie, so that is a bit of an oversight.
It's an interesting meta Yoda's team is putting out. It's pretty buzzy.
Yeah, 5IP, they're sticking to their roots. They love going for these crazy unorthodox strategies, and that's what let them win a series up against Blink in the ODL1. They just completely took them by surprise and took them by storm. Let's see if they can disrupt Blink again this time, since Blink, very static in terms of their picks. While they do have a very diverse range of heroes they could play, they often like to just stick with the meta trend and draft heroes that they're comfortable playing with. They tend to go for very similar picks over and over again until someone's able to counter them. So let's see if 5IP they're able to pull out something a bit unconventional.
I don't think they're going to expect is that they counterpicked the Brewmaster with the Quap, yet they're going to be running against a PA probably, which is just a way better matchup in the favour of 5IP, of course.
Although that being said, Brewmaster doesn't do too bad against the Queen of Pain, because Queen of Pain has to be very careful if she wants to play aggressively against the Brewmaster. If you ever blink forward against the Brewmaster, he can actually turn around and kill you. And so while you can control the lane of the Shadow Strike, you always have to keep in mind that the Brewmaster...
Strike build.
I mean, personally, are you a fan of going for 2 points of the Shadow Strike on the Queen of Pain, especially with the recent buffs, or do you prefer just sticking with the 1 point?
Shit, no, I'm a classic 1-1-3.
Yeah, because I mean,
all about the old school Scream of Pain.
Yeah, the Scream of Pain is basically the foundation of your ganking combo, just because you need that immediate burst damage to kill a target.
Yeah, you don't want to have them lingering next to you for 15 seconds.
So while we do wait for this pause...
Your mic sensitivity might just be a tiny bit too high because you can hear typing.
Okay, I'll just fiddle with my settings for a bit. It's the issue with having a studio mic, it's too damn sensitive. Alrighty. Still really curious to see if 5IP decide to run dual lanes. Because if it's going to be
pretty good.
Yeah, especially with the Bristleback.
But who is going to be the safe lane farmer is the question. Like, they usually would run Wolf Cunt in that position, but do you really want a farming Omniknight?
Well, the advantage of the farming Omniknight is he actually can scale very well as a semi-carry. If you get early items up on him, early phase drum, you just run at them, and it just forces the spawns to back away. So similar to the carry Abaddon, because you've got an inbuilt defensive mechanic, so in this case you've got the repel, you just run at them and you force them back. And if you catch them with the Degen Aura, if Omniknight's alive, the Degen Aura is actually absurdly powerful with the recent buff, since it now applies a 2-second sticky once you're out of the range.
I think I'll jizz in my pants if he goes for a straight Sanjin Yasha.
Puppy style. Phase, Sanjin Yasha, Mask of Madness, maybe an Armland Median in there.
Yeah, old school.
Just run around smacking people. Blink Dagger on the Omniknight is also very powerful, because Omniknight's only drawback is the fact that he's got an incredibly high cast point, so if you could blink in once they've thrown out their spells and then cast your Guardian Angel, you could win a fight decisively. And so it looks like Broder has reconnected. Things should be good to go. Hopefully the mic issues have resolved themselves. Looks like Zeki's actually AFK now, so... Bambi, please. One of the good things about both teams is both Blink and 5IP, the players have spent a lot of time playing with each other because they know each other in real life, and so they've got a good amount of synergy. So similar to Horseman and the Ruckus, you not only want players that of equal skill, you also want players that work well in terms of personality. So it's one of the reasons why...
I ruffled my fouled at the power of friendship comment the other day. Me too.
Gotta say, the power of friendship OP. I mean, lead unit, they've got very average or to competent players. I mean, 3.5 came around that kind of range. So none of the players are exceptional. They're all, call them all competent and very average. But their team synergy is absolutely fantastic. It's the reason why they're such an effective team. It's because they've played together for so long. A lot of them have been friends for, I believe, years and years. And so because of that, they know instinctively what each other's going to do. So because they have that excellent synergy and coordination, they're actually able to achieve results far better than you'd expect. And so it's not just what roles a teammate can fulfill, it's also if you mesh well in terms of personality. Looks like they haven't actually updated the Aegis for a newbie. Volvo, please. Just while we're still sitting around in pause. Hopefully things should be resolved fairly soon. I do apologize for the pause. These things do happen from time to time. I mean, hey, it wouldn't be a competitive game without at least one pause. Okay, so it looks like we're just waiting on Ziki. They're good to go. So finally, about after 10-15 minutes later, we will be resuming into game number 1 of a best of 3 series. The winner of this goes on to face the winner of Horseman and Ruckus up against Sing 2 in the winners bracket finals, and then the winner from there moves on to the grand finals.
Ruckus in the next round.
Bit of arrogance coming out from King Killer, but what do you expect? So we've got smokes coming up from Wolfcon, so we actually could be seeing potentially a ganking Omniknight at one stage. Omniknight does give you a very powerful defensive advantage in regards to a rotation, similar to the Abaddon. If he rotates into a gank to help out one of your teammates, the Purification can make or break an early gank.
Yeah, this is how I thought they were going to run it with the Egg Try and the solo top Void, which I hope now that they're going to run the Lich in the off lane, because that'll definitely diminish Void's return on this.
Because the biggest weakness of Zeki, the offlane player, he's incredibly good at what he does, but he tends to play very greedy. And it's the same with Flash. I mean, the saying goes, if he can prevent Flash from getting his favorite item, which is the Hand of Midas, in an early time, he can pretty much win the game. And Broda caught out position, Snow. Hasn't skilled any of his abilities yet. Yeah, but he's just able to waddle on out there. Close call, Brush with Death coming up from him. Looks like no ward's being placed by Blink. So that 4-man rotation hasn't really been too successful. There we go, Bambi's rotating in now, he's got wards up on him. But we've got Yoshi with boots first to ensure that he can last that shackle, especially if he decided to clash try. This is absolutely critical. But you do have the concussive shot from Bambi, since he's holding on to his skill points. It helps it up. Actually went for Arcane Bolt at 1. And so we're going to be seeing Undying rotating to the bottom lane, so Broda as well as Only. So dual lanes from the look of it, although Ghoulie can always rotate to the bottom lane once he sacrifices the creep. He's just going to do this in the mid lane to ensure that Mule has a good time. And he's actually rotating to the top lane, so we're going to be seeing dual lanes coming out from 5IP. So Lich as well as the Omniknight. Having a little bit of lag on mine. I'm just going to quickly close the stream on mine.
I wonder if we can use it.
Yeah, the double damage rune can be quite important. Because the biggest drawback with Skywrath Mage as well as the Shadow Shaman support heroes is they've got very low armor. Skywrath, he's got 0, Shadow Shaman 1, so you could actually deal a fair amount of right-click damage, especially since Brewmaster, he actually right-clicks fairly hard, so does the Undying, especially with a few decay procs. Bambi immediately going very aggressively on Only to zone him out. Good recognition coming up from him. They're assuming it's actually going to be a solo safe lane. Brewmaster, Broda's waiting the wings with that double damage, and with that decay up, he can make things happen. In the mid lane matchup, Snow looks like he's actually been out CS by Mule in the mid lane. Might actually be looking to opt for 2 points in the Shadow Strike. Poor man shield from Mule doing a lot of work. He's actually been pulled 3 tangos just to ensure he doesn't get harassed out by the core. And Blur at 2 actually helps out a lot. I mean, the reason why Phantom Assassin works in the mid lane is because of the buff to Blur. So because it gives you so much for the first point, you can ensure that, similar to how the Brewmaster works with the Drunken Brawler being able to provide the evasion as well as the crit, there's a reason why Phantom Assassin works as a solo mid lane hero. And once you get that coup de grace, especially since you could set up the coup by right-clicking creeps a few times to help jig the pseudo-random generator in your favor, you could use it to set up a crit. So you hit a creep once or twice. If you don't proc a crit,
into Shaman or Brewmaster. Interesting. Waiting patiently.
So yeah, great recognition coming up from Yoshi. Because he doesn't necessarily know what he wants to do with it yet, and only, actually very surprised he chose not to skill up. Up against the tri-lane, probably would have opted for a point in Clap to ensure they can't dive, and there we go, now he's got 2 points in, Clap as well as Brawler. And so with that, he should be able to CS quite effectively. And Snow is starting to wrest control of the mid lane now, especially now that he's got a few points up in that Scream of Pain. It'll be interesting to see if he opts for the second point.
Dagger, might pay off. I suppose he's just going to nuke him down, seeing as he's just going to dodge his attacks.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you have to keep in mind. The second point in the Shadow Strike, the biggest disadvantage of it is it means you can't effectively gank until you hit level 8 as opposed to level 7, because you need that maxed out Extreme of Pain. Flash immediately playing hyper aggressive, upgrading that Tombstone. Actually catching him out with the Claplets could be First Blood, only continuing to dive and being drawn back by the Arcane Bolts flying up. Broder standing his ground, smacking Yoshi around, and then a little bit of armor he has. Not actually able to cushion him. Broder actually could be taking a fall, one more right click coming out. Only catch him out the Clap, he instead throws his life away, as now he's caught in the shackles. Both heroes standing their ground, the strike came from Decay, Shaw's a return kill from Flash. And Yoshi fleeing for his life, he's got boots though. So unless if Broder's able to catch him out, but it doesn't look like. And now Broder, he's going to be feeding, he's called out the shackle. Bambi, one more Arcane Bolt, and a double kill going in favor of the Skywrath Mage. Tri-lane immediately able to achieve results. They did get a kill on Flash. And so they're at least able to shut down their core farmer. But only running back and getting called out by that shackle. Gives a fair amount of gold in favor of Blink, so 750 gold in their hands. As well as about 400 EXP lead. Only's going to be playing very defensively now, especially until Broder gets back into the lane. Yoshi picks up that regen rune, so taking it away from Snow. Probably could do a lot better with it. Looks like Queen of Pain is going for the max out Scream and Pain build. Mule just going to be relying on throwing out that Stifling Dagger to find farm where he can. And once he hits level 6, he can actually do a fair amount of damage. He throws out the dagger, could be going in for a Blink Strike, opts not to. But the biggest drawback of the Phantom Assassin in the mid lane is, unlike the Queen of Pain, you don't have that huge spike of damage. You've got the Coup de Grace, but because it only works in a single target, you can't rotate to the bottom lane and help set up kills for the rest of your team. Because if Phantom Assassin runs in, unless if Only and Broder are able to react immediately, they could just stand their ground, catch her out with the shackle and blow her up. Whereas the Queen of Pain, she could deal enough damage up the front. Flash actually takes a lot of damage from that. One clap, one crit, and a decay. Completely tears through 2/3 of his life. Zeke in the top lane.
Smoke rotation.
Taking a fair amount of damage from the Lich.
Looks like they're wanting the mid.
So Wolfguard actually able to find a lot of farm. But considering it's a dual lane up against a solo Void, Mule spots out the double damage rune. He's wishing he had that Coup de Grace now. But playing very defensively. Incredibly aggressive ward being placed by Blink there. This ensures that smoke rotation is guaranteed to succeed since it gives you a lot more vision. Also sees if their supports are rotating in, unless they TP in here. Or there.
Great way to get last hitting advantage as well.
Yeah, and Snow copy a lot of damage with that double damage. If Coup de Grace is available, Snow would be dead right there. He eats the dagger, and Mule's always able to threaten them. The biggest disadvantage of the Shadow Strike as a way to control the lane is because it deals damage every 3 seconds. You could, if you time it properly, you can just bottle through the charges. That's the reason why you want to max out the Scream of Pain, is it gives you a lot more reliable killing power.
Yoda's getting maxing statue rather than decay against the Bristleback.
Yeah, it looks like over in the top lane, Cooley actually cleans up Ziki. We've got some pings coming out from him. Wolfgang, go for a fairly standard build, so 1 point in the repel, 1 in the degen. Would you really suggest maxing out Decay against this tri-lane? Wouldn't the Tombstone be able to provide you a lot more benefit, especially for turnaround kills?
Yeah, it's I'd say 2 levels in each.
Yeah, I probably would have skipped the soul rips. Because you don't have enough mana to be there.
It doesn't offer too much.
Yeah, you don't have enough mana to really be able to work
50.
with maxed out Decay.
50 for the potential of a ranged kill, I suppose.
Looks like we've got a quick pause as Ghoulie disconnects, so we're having a few issues, but Snow very low once again. One more dagger, one more blink strike, and Mule actually able to do very well in this mid lane, despite being against one of the best lane controls in the game. Queen of Pain, before Puck was buffed with the base damage increased by 5, and before her Shadow Strike was nerfed, decreasing the range, she actually used to be one of the best mid heroes in the game because she could consistently zone out enemy heroes using the Shadow Strike. She's got great base damage and a fantastic attack point, and so she's a very powerful hero to control the mid lane and start snowballing. But with the resurgence of much more tankier mids, such as the Dragon Knight that could simply rely on Bottle Coin and Breed Fire Harass to be able to zone out the Queen of Pain, or heroes such as the Razor or the Viper that actually can deal more return damage to you when you use the Shadow Strike on them, since Viper with a point in Corrosive Skin completely destroys the Queen of Pain mid. Every time she hits you with a Shadow Strike, she takes more damage than you do, even with 1 point Corrosive Skin. And so with the current trend of the maxed out Corrosive Skin build on Viper, Queen of Pain can't do anything. And Viper with 1 point Nether Toxin with LCS to Queen of Pain. And so it's the reason why you don't see Queen of Pain all too often now, is because she's too easily countered by a lot of other mids. And she's a fairly timing dependent hero. You have to be able to get a very early Orchid, and the only way to do that is to be able to win mid and also be able to translate that into kills across the map. Looks like Ghoulie actually blue screen, so we're really having a fair amount of issues happening for the boys in 5IP. But Skywrath Mage very early boots up on him, so both Yoshi and Bambi have boots up, so that gives them a significant advantage in these engagements. As in Skywrath Mage, very mobile hero. Wow, looks like every single hero in the game has boots.
Yeah, it's a pretty rare occurrence, eh?
Yeah, especially this early on. So the power of dual lanes really working out. It'll be interesting to see if Mule decides to opt for phase boots, since he's playing the mid ganking PA as opposed to treads. We have been seeing treads as the de facto build for the PA, especially with the blur buff. So because blur now provides you 50% evasion once it's maxed out, going for treads means that you don't have to invest as many early points in the Phantom Strike. And so you need the attack speed from treads to be able to compensate.
Yeah, it's just hard to balance that against the phase boots where level 1 coup de grace, you're really going for that fluke kill.
That's true. It does give you an obscene amount of damage, and it does give you fantastic chasing. Since Phantom Assassin with the dagger, yeah, the dagger and with phase, you can't run away from the PA. She'll be able to run you down, unless support rotates in. But the PA Omniknight combo could actually win them the game if they're able to find enough farm on the PA, since she just saves 4k gold on the BKB. She doesn't need a BKB with the repel up by Omniknight. And so every single fight, all he has to do is repel the Mule. Mule could run in and do his thing. Brewmaster runs in, collapse splits, and you can pretty much win a fight off the back of that. And the Guardian Angel works as a fantastic counter to the Void, but of course, if Wolfgang does get caught by the Chronosphere, then they're completely screwed. Every time Zeki's able to catch up Wolfgang in the Chronosphere and kill him in that Chronosphere, Blink should be able to win that fight. Because, especially since they're investing so many resources into the Omniknight, he has to be able to get off his spells in the teamfight engagement. Very surprised they actually opted not to pick up a Rubik, since Rubik still was in the pool. They could have potentially gone for maybe a Skywrath mid and pick up a Rubik as a counterpick to the Omniknight. Since Rubik works fantastically against the Omniknight, since Rubik has 0 cast points, so every one of the Omniknight spells is so damn powerful, especially with 0 cast points. So 0 cast point purification is absolutely game breaking. You could get a purification on 2-3 heroes reliably, so you don't have to wait for the front swing. Having a 0 second 0 cast point Guardian Angel, if you're able to steal it, can pretty much decide a fight. So Omniknight, all of his abilities are very powerful, so it doesn't really matter which one you use immediately after. Either the purification or the repel, since you never want to give away Guardian Angel, means that Rubik is a very powerful counterpick in that case. But since they decided to offer the support duo at Skywrath as well as the Shadow Shaman and the Rubik, not really the greatest combo because you just lack damage. You've got plenty of lockdown with the Shadow Shaman as well as with the Rubik, but you need damage to set up for it, so that means you have to draft a very aggressive carry to be able to provide that damage. So we could have seen potentially something like a Razor would work well with this since he got static link, so he gets damage from lockdown, or even a hero like a Wraith King or Chaos Knight that could also provide even more lockdown to ensure that you just kill them just by stun locking them to death. But in terms of last hits, because they've got
certainly not a game of stun locks.
Yeah, especially on 5IP side.
Zero reliable stuns.
Unless if Mule does pick up a Cranium Basher, I mean, with that Blink Strike, it's basically a guaranteed stun. Once you get the 5 attacks off, when you blink, you're guaranteed to get a stun off, especially since it's PRD.
Nowadays, we'll call Faceless Void a guaranteed stun.
Yeah, the time lock is pretty much guaranteed to land, especially since it's PRD, and with how fast Void hits. So Zeki, with that death,
Panda, its first stat.
actually opted for a second point backtrack, so usually you leave backtrack at 1, or you even completely forego backtrack in exchange for maxing out the time walk or the time lock. The reason why he's going for 2 points in backtrack is because he's constantly facing a lot of pressure from the Lich. The Lich can just walk on Frost Blast him every single time it's off cooldown. And so having that second point can help you out a bit there. But even then, the disadvantage of this build is because you've only got 1 point in the time lock, once you hit 6, you don't have that avenue for a solo kill. You're not going to do enough damage. Since the time lock chance is too low, the time lock damage is too low. The reason why you max time lock, usually by 7, is because the instant you see a hero in the zone, you walk in, you chrono them, that's a free kill. And you recover that way, even if you're not able to find any farm. So long as you get experience, you can translate that experience into kills. Or you max out time walk if you're playing really far from behind. Or if you have a team up setup that relies on you being able to set up these fights with the Chronosphere. So for instance, if you've got a Quas Exile Invoker, in the mid lane or the safe lane, you want to go for the maxed out Time Walk build because you know that you've got that reliable Sunstrike always being a fly in, so you don't have to build damage on your own.
500 gold to Blink and 500 XP to 5 IP.
So fairly even game so far. The EXP for 5 IP is just due to the fact they've got a Lich as well as dual lanes, and so they should always be ahead in experience. But the gold lead, especially if they're able to funnel into the right heroes. Looks like Flash actually opted for Quadding Blade at 1 just to ensure that he wouldn't miss an ECS. And actually it looks like Bristleback opted not to go for any points in Goo. This is, I believe, a misplay. Especially when you're playing for an aggro try. You need that point in Goo to set up for the rest of your team. Even if it's just a negative armor, if you only get 1 stack off, you'll be able to deal enough damage with that stack because you have to have that reliable snare. If they had it, they actually would have been able to achieve a lot more in this lane. Yeah, and so the second point in Bristleback, not really the greatest build in this case because you're playing aggressive try. If you are solo offlane and you're placing and you're feeling a lot of pressure from the enemy team, then the second point in Bristleback makes a lot of sense. But otherwise, you never want to go for a second point in Bristleback unless you absolutely need it. You want to get an early point in Nasal Goo as soon as possible because that's where your killing power comes from. Especially once you get level 6, once you get that warpath, having a single point in the Goo is the difference between getting a kill, not getting a kill. Wolfcant once again going in for some shit talking. Looks like Mark's continuing the map, so Mark, please. And Mule, off the back of that creep wave, will hit level 6, so Snow has to be playing very defensively. Especially since he doesn't have enough burst damage to kill off the PA outright, and PA can stand the ground and man fight with the Queen of Pain down, especially with a point up and blow. 20% evasion doesn't seem like much until you're 1v1ing the PA. And so the advantage of the PA as well is it's going to force the Queen of Pain or the Faceless Void to build an MKB, or even the Bristleback, if he really needs it. Because otherwise, the PA, especially with the Guardian Angel and with the Repel, you're not going to be able to kill Mule. And if you can't kill Mule, he will destroy your entire team. You can't run from a PA because you've got Blink Strike and Stifling Dagger. And so PA resolves the biggest issue that a lot of melee carries face, which is lack of time on target. Because she can constantly apply snares, she can constantly re-engage and disengage, similar to an anti-mage. Looks like we're finally resuming, so after about 20 minutes of pauses and about 5 minutes of action, looking forward to see how this game unfolds.
Oh, I'm so juiced.
Especially since 5IP haven't had the greatest track record with really climactic games. I mean, on a scale of 1 to TI4, pretty TI4 when it came to game number 3 of them up against Weed Unit, and their series up against Horseman of the Ruckus, pretty TI4. Was at least expecting it to go to a game number 3. Alrighty, we're good to go. So let's see what Snow decides to do. He's going to be playing very defensively. He's got his bottle flying back out to him.
2 minutes.
But if Mule catches him out, that's a free kill going in his hands. Got some things coming out from Yoda. Looks like he's got just wards flying out to him, so he's going to be going out and de-warding. Spot rotation coming in with Yoshi. Regen room being pinged up by Ghoulie in the top lane. He's going to be bodyguarding it. And Snow, he decides not even to bother going for it. He knows that spots are rotated since Rain's able to spot that out. And now being left alone against Wolfcant. Wolfcant should be having a fairly easy time.
Let's see if he's quick enough to go straight on him.
And of course the first dagger that Snow eats crits. So Snow takes a fair amount of damage from that. Only, looks like he's going for a fairly standard build. 2 points in Clap, 2 points in Brawler. You sometimes see a point in stats with only 1 point in Brawler to ensure it. And actually in the mid lane, support rotation was successful. Yoshi able to ensure that kill with the Shackle. And looks like Queen of Pain used the Sonic Wave just to ensure the kill, since you never want to leave anything to chance against a PA. Especially when she's got mana to be able to throw out the dagger and then Blink Strike onto you. One crit can completely ruin your day and turn it into a trade.
Wolfcant, you're gonna die.
Wolfcant purifies. And Ziki. Looks like I've actually got a pause coming up from them. Not really too sure what the rationale for that is. Looks like we've got another technical issue coming up from 5IP. Well, so far we haven't had any puppy pauses. So these things do happen. Especially when you've got all 5 players from one team playing in the Net Cafe. You get a few issues when you're not playing on your own machine. Flash going to be going for Tread, so very standard build up for the Bristleback. He's probably going to be the one carrying mech for his team. Since they're going to need an early mech against this lineup. If you could survive the initial burst damage coming out of the Purify with the Frost Blast as well as the Clap, or even if you could use the mech to survive yourself to ensure that you survive through a coup de grace, makes it very difficult for 5IP to be able to capitalize. Mule immediately rotates and actually goes on Snow, takes out a good chunk of his life. And Mule's going for this. He knows that Snow's out of mana, he's gonna dive. Dagger flies out.
I think he counted up the mana.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough mana. Support is rotating, Mule's gonna get out of there. The shackle flies out, Mule actually trades his life away. And Blink able to capitalize on that. Bit of over-aggression coming out from them. Some HOR level plays coming out as he YOLO dives. As support's rotating in. Ken, I'm sure you know all about that.
There's some solid gold on a couple of players. I'm quite curious to see what they're going to get straight away. You know, Quap's got 1500 and Wolfman's got 1400. I suppose he's just going to pop the mana boots now.
Yeah, most likely going to be mana boots up on Omni. And Shred's up on Snow, actually playing it very safe. He needs the extra stats just to ensure he doesn't get burst down by a straight crit. And bro, the leeching experience in the middle lane.
Very safe.
I mean, that's the advantage of the Queen of Pain.
As well.
Is you can play very safe because you've got so much damage built in from your abilities that you just have to stay alive to be able to deal the damage. That's why sometimes Queen of Pain, in competitive games, you often go for BKB first against certain matchups. Because so long as you're able to stay alive in these fights and keep throwing out your abilities, you can do a lot of damage. And Mule, no crits on the PA, outside of that Stifling Dagger crit. Zeke being zoned out. Probably going to be opting for treads, but if he gets a recovery kill and is able to find some farm, he probably will be transitioning to the Midas. Wolfcart playing very defensively, repels himself, since his support's rotating in. Using that Purify to find himself a lot of farm. It's the advantage of the Omniknight as when you play in the offlane.
Wolfgang, for sure. Knows they're missing.
Yeah, it's a good game sense coming up from him. Broda also rotates in case they want to dive over on Wolfgang. But you never want to dive against an Omniknight, especially when you don't know how what his cooldowns are. Because he can turn it around with Purification. Purification is incredibly powerful. It's because it deals pure damage in an AoE as well as the heal. It's a massive HP swing in your favor. And when you're eating tower shots on top of that with the Degen aura, it makes it very difficult. Snow actually copying a fair amount of harassment from Mule. He's just throwing out those daggers. Praying he gets a dagger crit. Since the dagger crit doesn't have the same cooldown as the coup de grace, and so they prop on separate PRD chances.
Did you
Ghoulie?
see that video of the world's saddest void?
What was that when he called out the PA and he just kept
hoping to see that this game.
evading?
It's where Void goes as Invis on an Omniknight and cast Chronosphere, and they already had a sentry on him, so they just popped Guardian Angel.
Oh right, yeah, so I saw that one, yeah. And Ghoulie actually gets another kill. Use that Chain Frost for that one to ensure it. But Flash, he's having a bit of a rough start. He is still ahead in terms of CS, up against Only, but he's taken 2 deaths, so things are looking fairly grim. It's a very delayed mech coming out from Flash, since he's most likely going to be the mech carry for his team. Blink definitely need a mech to fight against the line from 5 IP. Especially with the Tombstones and Deathlust, can make or break a fight. Yoshi catches out Broda, Silence flies out on him. Yoshi's got double damage as a Tombstone, zombies are doing a fair amount of work, and he should be taking a fall. Mule should be able to clean him up. Sends around the Shackle with the zombies to smack him down. And Bambi, there's not really all too much he can do. He actually could be taking a fall as well. Zeke rotates in, he throws out the Chronosphere. He's fighting in the Tombstone, however, but there's no Wolfgang. Wolfgang uses the Purification. Isn't able to keep himself alive. Repel actually flies out. Ghoulie keeps himself alive. Guardian Angel drops. Zeke now fleeing for his life. With that Degen aura, he walks out. Bambi could be called out of position. Flash called out with a clap as well as the split to ensure he dies. They're investing a lot of resources to ensure that kill. And Bambi, he actually jukes high. It's a good juke coming up from him there. Yeah, good response coming up from them. That Guardian Angel completely turning it. So Mule keeps himself alive through that. Picks up a few kills. Only also rotates in. The biggest drawback to this is they've invested a lot of rotations into this. So they have to be able to get that tier 1. Tanziki, he knows that over in the mid lane, so he immediately just goes top, continues to farm. Actually, Standing's Guardian's Broda. Broda takes a lot of damage. That first hit time lock, doing a fair amount of work. And Blink, they're responding appropriately. They know they have to hold on to this tier 1. They can't afford to give away a tower as well as those kills. But this Bristleback pickup, completely ineffective, and that really boils down to the lack of point in the Nasal Goo. Zeke being drawn out, so he's actually out of mana now. Broda eats a concussive shot, but he should be good to go, especially with Wolfgang rotating in. He's got Arcane Boots as well as a Salve. So he can heal his brother back up to full HP. Mule looks like he's got Boots flying up to him. He's going phase, so he's going for a much more active ganking build. Even though he's opting to max out Blow. And so usually when you go phase, you see a maxed out Blink Strike build, so you can play a lot more active. But that being said, with the buff to Blow, maxing out Blow second is usually the recommended course of action, just because it gives you a huge increase in survivability. 50% evasion is no joke, especially when it's PRD. Only he's picked up Arcane Boots. He's about halfway to his Blink. Vladimir is offering on the Omni very early on. It's actually a very powerful item, because the +5 armor, especially against Blink They're relying on a lot of physical damage. Mule goes in on Snow, actually catching out the coup de grace. Actually drops a lot of his life. So every time PA finds an opening, he can just jump in. Bottles up the illusion rune. Snow's actually rotating. He's got Sonic Wave, and Yoshi's there as well. So Mule has to be very careful. He backs away immediately as the ping comes out. And Snow, Flash, and the bot lane. It's a Chain Frost once again from Ghoulie to ensure he takes a fall. He's got a Frost Blast coming off cooldown. 1 more second. Should be used to ensure the kill. Actually backs off as Sports hit in. So Chain Frost expended for no kill. 2-man Chronosphere coming out from Zeke. Good response coming out from him. Only the focus fire target. He does have Brawl as well as Clap. Actually, Purification comes out. They turn it. Zeke's out of money. He's taking a lot of damage. The DJ Nori should be taking fall. Mule comes in, cuts him down. Yoshi now fleeing for his life. He's got Arcane Boots and Shackles. They decide to dive this, but there's no other supports nearby. Flash is hanging in. We've now got supports rotating in. They have to get this kill and get the hell out very quickly. Only's able to clean it up. Mule continuing to lead the charge. Snow's actually caught in a very bad position now. As Mule, he's on the hunt. He knows that his Blink's on cooldown. Repels up on him. He doesn't really give a damn about Snow anymore. So Snow, there's nothing he can do. His Blink Dagger's still on cooldown. He's going to take it for once again. As Wolfcut gets a double kill. 5 IP. Straight up thugging Blink. As they just run in and brawl them down. They should be able to take the tail on the bottom lane. But while that's happening, Bambi, no TP up on him, and pings are coming out from his teammates. They're not too impressed. Unfortunately, it looked like his TP was on cooldown, so he must have TP'd top. And so the Skywrath Mage would have made a world of difference, especially if he could catch out the Omniknight with the silence. But because he wasn't there, 5 IP able to converge and destroy Blink, and they should be able to take that tower in the backline. Shadow Shaman unfortunately doesn't have Mass Serpent Wards, and so this tri-lane actually wasn't able to accomplish too much. And from that, we've now got a huge influx of gold going in favor of 5 IP, so about 2k gold lead in their favor, maybe 2.5, but a 4,000 EXP lead, and that could be the critical factor, especially since, I mean, we're talking about this in the drafting stage. Shadow Shaman and Skywrath, you have to get ahead with those heroes and stay ahead. The Faceless Void as well. If you could land good Chronos, you could turn fights around, but his Chronos have been great, it's just the rest of his team hasn't been able to provide that follow-up. And so the early Vlads on the Omniknight means that Mule, he's incredibly terrifying. He's got the lifesteal as well as the armor and the maxed out blur. Good luck trying to kill him, especially when it repels on him. He bottles up the Invis rune. Snow, he's been having a bit of a difficult start. He was off to a fantastic early lead, but every time he's rotated, he's been taking a fall. That's the biggest issue with the Queen of Pain, is even though he is opting to max out the Blink, every time it's on cooldown, he's just going to get torn apart by the sheer amount of right-click damage.
Yoshi, can you escape?
Yoshi actually TP's out, so good response coming out from him. Wastes the Tombstone, so that gives him a bit of a window. Wolfcut, he's not too happy with that. Really needed that kill. Mule has to be very careful. We've got 2 supports rotating in. So he can catch him out the Chronosphere. Chronosphere being command as well as the Mystic Flare. This is the combination we're talking about, and he should be taking a falls. Bambi actually cleans up the CS. He's actually got a spree up on him now. The Skywrath Mage, high priority target, drops a ward very aggressively, spotting TP rotations coming in around here. So they have to be able to take this tower, and all for that ward to be worthwhile.
The Panda, much better than against us.
Yeah, there we go. So 5 minutes faster than Ghoulie, only showing off his skills over in that Brewmaster. He's actually opted for 2 points in Haze very early on. It's a bit of an interesting build. Usually you see 1 point in Brawler and then go the rest into stats, if you're playing from behind, or if you want to go for a rush Blink.
Point and the second point of Brawler.
Yeah, but I mean it only goes up by 5%. We've got some mad things coming out. For Mule in the mid lane, he's saying, get out of my lane, I want to farm that. Omniknight, he's actually got a Bell of Giant Strength, so he could actually be going potentially for a Sage, or maybe for a Necrobook, I mean. If he goes for a Basher...
On the Sage and Yasha.
Sage and Yasha actually very good pickup on the Omniknight, because the Greater Mame stacks fully on top of DJ Nora. Bit surprised Wolfcut actually opted not to go for... Yeah. It's Wolfcut we're talking about, he likes to go for these brawling items. I'm actually very surprised he didn't go for an early Orb of Venom. Early Orb of Venom on the Omniknight is absolutely terrifying. Mule goes in on Snow, takes out half his life, and he immediately invises out as he spots out Bambi who catches him with Concussive Shot. Haste Rune being pinged out. Looks like Snow's going to be able to pick that up. Looks like he's going for the Orca Malevolence.
The new meta.
New meta indeed.
GG.
Broda doing his thing, throwing out the K. He's got that second point in Soul Rips. That's the most efficient point in Soul Rips. Zeke can actually go in and try to interrupt him with the first Tomahawk if he was lucky. Just to break his TP. Sorry, not to chance it. And Mule, he's already critting him out 280 with a level 1 Coup. He's got level 2 Coup now. So he's going to start to deal a lot more damage. Phase Drum up on him. So, fairly standard active ganking build. Phase Drum, great setup on a lot of mid heroes, because it gives you everything you need. It gives you stats, it gives you the movement speed, and it gives you a lot of right-clicking power. And so it gives you a great chasing capability.
Towers to mid tower, 2 for 1.
Yeah, it's a bit of a misplay coming from them, but they do force out the Mass Serpent Wards.
I think they will only lose one tower.
Yeah, and since Blink, they have much more of a death ball lineup.
They're tier 1.
If the game goes late, 5IP have a significant advantage. They do. I mean, they do have the Brewmaster and the Undying that do taper out very quickly. Zeke called out. The plays coming out from him. He's got Time War coming up cooldown very shortly. But they don't know he's there, so he's actually just biding his time. Actually, they could turn this around, especially with Snow rotating back in. Only he's got Split available, as well as that Blink Dagger.
He's just going to stay there and use it aggressively. Because he has enough mana.
Yeah, he's got...
maxed out the Time Warp.
So we could be seeing some crazy plays coming out from Zeke. He's the man behind enemy lines, hiding in the trees. So Viet Cong be damned. Brodo also hiding in the trees, chilling out for a bit. He wants to go into Skywrath. They have to be there to try to pick off the Skywrath. And there we go. Dagger flies out. Mule leading the charge. Blink, catch up with the Blink Striker. 1 crit, 2 hits. And he brings him down. Ends the spree as well. Mule. The Mule train starting to come in. As Blink. It's the drawback of having 2 very squishy supports. But while that's happening, Flash doing what he does best, taking a tower in the mid lane. Tombstone be dropped to clear out trees, but Snow just blinks out. And with that Tombstone, they should be able to take this tier 1.
Power of those early phase boots.
Yeah, gives you a huge amount of ganking presence. But the issue with it, you have to snowball with it. But the way Mule's been playing, he's definitely been snowballing. Zeke's still hiding there, stuck in the trees. Now he is able to TP out. So finally able to make up for that misplay. And in terms of wards, we see Blink playing
on a killing spree.
Fairly defensively, so we've got a defensive ward there. This is much more of an aggressive ward, but now that ward's expired, so they might actually look to try to place some wards up on the enemy Ancients to see if their Ancient stack can clear out Ancients. Or even here, to start warding off their jungle. Since that top lane ward, it's only effective if you're really going in for a gank or a push on that tower. And Ghoulie, he's going to be on mech duty, he's actually almost got it. Compared to Flash, yeah, Flash has just picked up his mech, so Ghoulie actually keeping up fairly on par with Flash. And we see the 2 cores from 5IP, the Brewmaster as well as the PA, actually leading in terms of net worth. So good recovery coming out. Wolfcon, he's only about 700 gold behind the Queen of Pain. So both Zeke and the Bristleback haven't really been too effective so far. Now that Bristleback has the mech, he can be a lot more active. It's still opting for no points in the Nasal Goo. And so therein lies the issue. Bristleback, if you can't hit anyone, you're not really... It's similar to the Lifestealer. You're not really doing your job. You have to be able to hit people to be able to draw that fire. Since a smart player, they could simply just snare you and leave you alone. Or kill the rest of your team. You never want to have Bristleback as your priority target. So your job as a Bristleback player is to force them to kill you first. So that's why you usually see Bristleback players build aggressive items. So an armlet very early on. The Bristleback is absolutely terrifying because it lets you just 3-shot the supports, especially with the Goose stacks. Or even something, or you just stack auras to make yourself such a potent utility threat that they have to deal with you. They're grouping up for this tattoo, but while that's happening, Snow is split pushing. What was that, sorry, Ken?
Oh, what do you think PA's going to build? Top's going to drop.
PA could be going for something like a basher to ensure the crit. Or if he actually gets a lot more gold, he can actually offer something like a Desolator on the PA. Since you've got the Vladimirs and you've got the Repel, so you don't have to build any defensive items on the PA. And going for an early Deso lets you completely shred the supports. You could one-shot the Skywrath, you could pretty much two-shot the Shadow Shaman. The split pushing pressure coming up from Blink, this is the advantage of the Queen of Pain. Is because she's a blinking hero, you could constantly apply pressure. Just with levels, but now he's rotating back. And the top tier 2 taking a fair amount of chip damage. And with that Tombstone drop, they want to commit to this. Flash actually eats a crit. And takes a fair amount of damage from that dagger. Especially since it's pure damage. Only, looks like he's going for the Aghanim Scepter, so they really are committing for the mid-game. But they back away, they lost the tower in exchange for nothing. Blink Dota, they're doing what they do best. They know that when the enemy's got the advantage, they have to split push. Since they know that if they fight as 5 right now against the Guardian Angel, they're going to lose. So the only way they could really try to recover is if they go for pick-offs, and if they're able to trade towers. So trade space for time. And once you get your core items up, especially since Queen of Pain, now lean to see her scoreboards. Looks like she's almost got her Orchid. Actually, looks like he's got the Orchid up. So with that Orchid, Snow can start making a lot of space for his team. If you catch out only with the silence, or if you catch out the Omniknight, so 2 critical heroes that you have to silence, you can win the fight off that. Actually, Ken, a bit of a mechanical question. If you use the repel on the target that's being silenced, it doesn't purge off the silence, no? It just protects them from further.
Depends on the silencer.
Yeah.
Like, it'll burn off, it'll purge Skywrath silence.
but not the Orchid. I don't
Uh,
think I've ever actually seen the interact. I rarely see Omniknight in games anymore, so I actually am a bit rusty with him.
Yeah.
Only comes in, immediately caught up by the Suns. Great recognition coming out from Bambi. He's now got the repel up on him. He uses the split. Zeke catches out Wolfgang. He has to focus him down, but the Cyclone catches him out, and Zeke could be the turnaround kill. Snow runs in, throws out the Sonic Wave. Sonic Wave unfortunately only catches the one. Mule's running rough shot over him. Yoshi is smacking him down. Shackles now the Guardian Angel. Mule gets a kill. Zeke as well takes a fall with the Chain Frost and clean him up. And Flash, he's called him the Chain Frost proc as well. Stifling Dagger up on him. He can choose to die for this, but they choose not to. So 2 very important kills. They got to farm up the wards and take the tier 2.
Interesting that you mention the mechanic just as it gets played.
Prophecy. And with that kill, Omniknight, he's going to be picking up his Necronomicon. Necronomicon, absolutely terrifying on Omniknight, because the Necronomicon Warrior and the Archer does a lot. They actually out DPS heroes if you get a very early Necro 3, especially with the mana feedback coming out from the Warrior, and the mana burn on the Rage Creep. And so the reason why it's so great on Omniknight is the only thing Necronomicon minions lack is the ability to be able to lock people down. And so with Omniknight's Degen Aura, you just run up, and they're not going to be able to escape from you. And that means that the Necronomicon Warrior is getting a lot of free shots in, and it will just completely destroy the Queen of Pain. So great recognition coming up from Wolfgang. He could have also gone for the Sanjin Yasha for shits and gigs. But Sanjin Yasha, well, it's a good snowball item if you're ahead. When you're playing from behind or from even, not the greatest pickup, because it doesn't really give you enough of anything to really be all too useful. Apart from on Sun Heroes, only playing very far forward. Called out the silence. The fantastic response coming out from Bambi.
The movement speed you get from Necrobuck is pretty much equivalent to Sanjin Yasha.
Yeah. And it does give you a huge amount of pushing power.
11, 15?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
So we've got a Basher coming out from Mule, so that guarantees a stun lock. And so with the repel up on Mule, he's going to be able to wreak absolute havoc. Since you saw that fight, he just dove Yoshi. He didn't care about the wards, he didn't care about the Shackle. Guardian Angel kept him alive, and then he just one-shots him once the Shackle wears off. Got a smoke rotation coming out from 5 IPs, the group up is 5. Blink as well, they're 3-man smoking. So the 5 catch up the 3 could be an absolute bloodbath. They're going in to check out the Ancients, then try to cut them off. Actually, it looks like they're going in for Roche. They're with the Vladimirs. Should be able to take this Roche fairly early. And I don't think Blink are aware of this. They've got a very aggressive ward being placed here to spot out Roshan, but because they smoked in, I don't think they have much awareness. Although that being said, all 3 lanes are pushing with no one there, so they must know something's up. Blink Dota probably presuming that there's a smoke rotation.
I think they've got it pretty safe.
Yeah, Yoshi, he's hanging around. He probably knows something. Yeah, he knows something's up, but he can't afford to take another death, especially since he's so close to his Blink Dagger and only can choose to jump him right now. So Mule, you thought he was hard to kill before. Now he's got an Aegis to the Immortal and a Skull Basher. Things are looking very grim. So 5 IP, they're relying on synergy to be able to deal that damage, since the Omniknight, Wolfguns are stacking auras to ensure that PA can do the damage. They're investing everything into the PA as their primary damage dealer, but because the Omniknight's there, the Omni PA combo is absolutely ridiculous against that Blink. Because the Guardian Angel completely nullifies the majority of their damage, since with the repel up as well, you can't kill Mule. When the Guardian Angel repels up, you can't kill him. And if you can't kill the PA, if he's able to weather the first storm of spells that you throw at him, and once the CC's down, he just runs in and picks you off one by one. Especially with the chasing power you get from the Phase Drum, and as well as the Siphoning Dagger. And that's not even taking into account the Degen Aura or the Tombstone or the Clap. Just the Omni and the PA on their own should be able to decisively win these fights, assuming that the Omniknight doesn't get caught out with the silence. So only he can play very far forward, since the Ancient Seal actually does get purged off by the repel, so guarantee the split. And that Tattoo Tower should be taking a fall very quickly, especially now that Mule's hitting so much harder. But Blink, good recognition coming up from him. They know the only thing they can do right now, since they can't fight his 5, is split push and try to trade. So we actually got support rotating in, only catches out Snow. Snow's actually fairly low right now. If only popped his split, he could have maybe gone for a kill, but Queen of Pain does have that Blink, so you want to hold on to it. They're going to be able to farm up the wards over in the tier 2. So they actually defend both their tier 2s in exchange for a tier 2. So good recognition coming out from 5 IP. And with that, the gold lead's now going heavily into their favor. 4,000 gold lead, about 5,300 EXP lead. And Wolfgang, once Necro 3 comes online, he's able to deal a huge amount in these team fights. Aghanim Scepter now up on the Brewmaster, but he's got about 9 more minutes before he starts to taper off in effectiveness. You want to try to breach high ground by the 35-minute mark? Or put yourself in a good enough position. But the same can be said for the Bristleback. Bristleback as well, because he's such a early game hero, you want to be able to try to end the game by 35 minutes or take enough tier 1s and tier 2s that your team is in a good position. But since Flash actually hasn't been very effective at all this fight, this is probably one of his worst games as far as team fight contribution, just because he doesn't have any points in the group. And while I say this, Kin, of course, my co-caster, doing drugs. Shame on you, what if children are watching? Gotta think of my professionalism. So the secret to Horseman and Ruckus' success? 420 blaze every day. I mean, judging from Weed Unit's performance, definitely seems to have a bit of a credence to it. Mule, Yasha now up on him, so it gives him insane chasing power. Yasha's a great pickup on the PA, because it gives her everything she needs. She doesn't have to build damage, because you get all the damage from the coup de grace. And so what you want then is movement speed and attack speed, and Yasha gives you that in spades. It's a very cost-efficient item. Although the only drawback is PA, you don't really want to go Manta style on PA unless you absolutely have to. But in this game, it's actually not too bad, because you can purge off the Orchid Silence and the Ancient Seal. But otherwise, the Yasha is kind of a...
Manta.
Yeah. S and Y, not too bad on the PA as well, but... Yeah, most likely going to be Manta. It does give you a lot more pushing power as well, especially on the melee hero, since it's got a much reduced cooldown. And 20-second less cooldown. Mule, actually looking to dive very far over, and so throws at the dagger. Just for shits and gigs, so let him know that he's hanging around. And Ghoulie, his Lich performance has actually been pretty good. He hasn't taken a death yet. Zeki's got to be careful. He's got a BKB now up. He actually can catch up too, but nighttime vision ensures that he doesn't spot him up.
I can smell it.
Yeah, both teams right next to each other without even knowing. Snow going towards his own BKB. This is something that...
Sixth sense how they're moving.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, huh? So both Blink and 5IP playing it fairly safe, since Blink, this is something that they like to do when they're playing from behind. They go for BKBs when they're cores, and once they have those BKBs, then they try to take fights. Because they know that when you've got a BKB on a hero like a Queen of Pain that does a massive amount of damage, so long as she stays alive, it gives you a huge amount of value. It gives you 10 seconds we could deal damage unhindered, and so the first BKB charge is usually the critical turning point for a lot of games, especially when you're playing from behind, or when you're playing from dead even. And so Zeki, he's got a 10-second BKB yet, hasn't used it yet. If they're able to take a successful fight with that 10-second charge, they can start to turn the game around, and especially into their favor, so they're playing so far from behind. Tier 2 in the mid lane does get taken out. 5IP, they're grouping up in force, they want to take the Tier 2 in the top lane in exchange. So a lot of split pushing coming out from Blink because they know that if they fight as 5, they're going to lose. And so the only thing you can do when you're up against a superior team fight lineup is you try to split. You force them to split, then you try to pick them off. Otherwise, you just go for objectives. So Zeki immediately fleeing. I call it the Degenerate, walks out, he should be fine, especially with the BKB. But although he probably doesn't want to pop it. Only, he's being pinged out, he's just on his own now. Brewmaster probably wants to go for either a Shiva's Guard or maybe something a Sheepstick. Would actually prefer the Sheepstick because Mule can deal all the damage for your entire team. All you want to do then is provide them lockdown. And so because Blink, they don't have any hexes yet, and especially with that repel, you can't touch the PA. But the Aegis is going to expire in about 4 more minutes, so they really want to take another objective with this. But since all the tier 2s are down, 5IP, they don't want to breach high ground yet. Because they know that the only way they can lose this game is if they get wiped, and that's most likely going to happen when you try to push high ground, especially against the Void. Quick pings coming out from Snow, who's deep in enemy territory. He's actually been playing very YOLO on his own. We've got about 25 seconds, actually. Never mind the 4 minutes. Looks like there's about 20 seconds before the Aegis expires. Almost Manta up on Mule, and so that's going to ensure that you can't catch him out the Orchid or the Ancient Seal. And only the Brewmaster because he...
Theoretically, PA Manta and Necro 3 should be able to win it.
Yeah.
Just by pushing down the Drax.
But against Blink, you want to leave nothing to chance. So what they could be doing is if they actually can jam up on the supports, they can just de-ward everything. Because they've got some very aggressive wards coming out from 5IP. Blink, they've got one defensive ward up there and one aggressive ward, but that's about to expire. So that's the only coverage they have right now. You know, without their tier 2s, once that ward goes down, that's the amount of map control you have. So you just farm all 3 lanes, you farm their jungle, you farm your jungle, and once you get your next set of items, then you group up and go for a push. So you can just decide to starve them out. Since otherwise, you don't, if you force the issue too early against a team that has a fantastic team fight combo, that can very well lose you the game. If they're able to wipe 5IP by catching out Wolfcut with the silence, Wolfcut might actually want to go for maybe something like a BKB of his own, or a Yule Scepter to ensure that if he gets caught out with the silence, he can purge it off. Because that's the best way, that's the only way that Blink can win this, is they have to catch out the Omniknight. And so the Omni works as a good counter to the Void, because when you're playing against the Void, or when you're drafting against the Void, you want to make it as difficult for him as possible to get a good Chronosphere off. And so you want to draft fail-safe heroes, so heroes that are able to disrupt Void within the Chronosphere, such as the Witch Doctors, since you can drop Death Ward, or heroes that could ensure that Void isn't able to get a kill. So the Dazzle with the Shallow Grave, the Shadow Demon with the Disruption, heroes like the Tidehunter, so if you get caught outside, you could just drop the Ravage and catch him out inside and before he gets BKB. Necro 3 and Manta up now, so they can decide to group for a push.
Stay up for the fight, mate.
Yeah, Wolfie, he has to be very careful. He's the highest priority target for 5 IP. Because Mule, he's completely... He actually goes and catches out Snow, almost kills him with 1 crit. Chronospace having forced, catches out 4 unfortunately. Mystic Floating dropped on Broder, but he's got the repel up on him, so he's able to keep himself alive. Zeke now caught stun locked by Mule's being torn apart. Skywrath Mage also took a fall. He's going to walk himself out. Flash could be the next target, never mind, they're completely disregarding him. Going in on Yoshi, they turn around. Chain Frost being committed, forcing Flash to split up with Snow. Only 1 bounce so far. They turn it on Snow, catches the Bolt Toss, unfortunately he's able to juke it out. Doing what they can. Clark lands on Snow. Snow pops his BKB, he's at half HP. He actually checks the form. Mule just right clicks him down. Not too sure why he chose to engage. Snow gets 2-shotted by Mule. Towns is gone. Zeke is also going to be taking a fall. Flash, Fleet was like corner of the first hit. Bash going to go from Mule. And Mule is on fire. He should be going in for an ultra kill. Unless only steals and decides to be a dick. There we go. There's the stun. And an ultra kill coming up from Mule. Bambi respawns and he just nopes out of there. He knows there's nothing he can do. And GG being called. 33 minutes in, 5 IP. They're back in action, doing what they do best. And they take a very successful game number 1 up against Blink in terms of gold and EXP. Only about a 5,000 EXP gold lead. Probably about 7,000 after the game's over, and about 7,500 EXP. It's a very close game. And we've got the shit talking coming up from Wolfcut. So we're going to be taking a quick break, and we'll be right back for game number 2. Stay tuned.